Hi, I am Dr. Rohit Malhotra and I am Associate Professor Finance and Econometrics from JK Business School. You see, I think finance is the most dynamic profession. If you really see in the corporate world today, the way the things are changing, and as you've seen in the couple of months before we have COVID, the most effective way of dealing this particular phenomena was with the financial world, because financial world is the one where there was found to be much more stability compared to any other sector. So I think there is a reason why somebody should know, and of course it's a dynamic profession. As I said, things change overnight and you have to get yourself always updated. This is the reason why I think finance should be the first choice. See, it's a very broad field, as I mentioned, and there are various options for students, particularly those who are doing their PG post-graduation. For example, one could be the banking, other could be the analyst field. For example, equity markets are full of requiring for analysts, be it financial analyst, sell side analyst, buy side analysts. You can become an investment banker or you can become an investment analyst. So there are a couple of fields along with that. Plus, you can also become, if you are good in mathematics or you're good in economic concepts, then you can always pursue something like you can be an economic unit, or you can become a, for example, an advisor, or you can also become a modeler, like you can create your mathematical models. So these are some of the fields which are very much open. Plus, if you are having an accounting background coupled with some of the certifications, you can add up into some accounting field, like you can join the Big Four and so on and so forth. And these are the firms which they can pursue. I think the industry requirement as of now, if you really see, as I mentioned, it's a very dynamic profession. There are a couple of things which I think as a finance student must be taken care of, at least in today's world. One is that his or her bent of mind toward data is very important. Today we are living in the big data world. Of course, data is the main churning thing. People should know, at least in the finance field, that how to utilize the data. When I'm saying data, I'm not saying only the financial data, but the data which are available otherwise. Like, for example, you have all the stuff coming from different field, different environment, for example, visual data and your audio data. So student, at least in finance, should also be appraised about these concepts. Plus, I would rather say that nowadays we have a multidisciplinary approach, at least from academic point of view. So students should also be knowing about behavioral concepts, sociology, psychology and so on. A little bit of idea of everything, I think, is the need of the time. See, JKBS, as you know, it's first of all, the big hallmark of this place is that it is backed by our industry group. That's the one big advantage, because we off and on get people from industry coming here and delivering their sessions, and plus interacting with faculties, so that everyone in this particular organization across can learn simultaneously about what are the industry best practices. But beside that, as academicians, if I have been honest with you, this is very important to understand that as JKBS or as any other business school, what we are pursuing here is that of excellence. That means to bring academic excellence. One of the stated example of academic excellence is that we insist students not to learn from the classes or from textbooks, but to learn from what is happening around the world. Bringing the contemporary issues in the class as an academician is what I believe is the most important challenge for all the faculties. I can be very honest. I think I have one of the technique which I would always refer is that, for example, I had my experience of taking students in accounts to take up something like, for instance, they were involved with accounting anthropology. What I mean by that is that I allowed them to utilize, accounting concepts by using some sort of a game. Where I mean by game is that I have used Lego, or the boxes. For example, the students were allowed to work on Lego or to play with Lego, but at the same time there was an availability to learn very, very crucial concepts of accounting. So I think this is the experiment which I did, and fortunately one of the papers have also got published based on this. So that is, I think, is one of the experiment which I did, and I was quite successful. I think as a department person, I am basically also handling research, plus I am also a professor of finance. So I think there's a lot of changes we are bringing. We have now contemplating on bringing brown bag seminars across faculty, where faculties could share their research interests to each one of us, and they can collaborate and work together, be it in form of publishing or a case material or a discussion or mere teaching pedagogy or something, or whatever methodology they're bringing. Second major aspect is with students. I think, as I said, in the department, we are bringing student seminars also. It's another thing which is coming up. In the student seminars, the whole idea is that we are telling students that to bring contemporary topics, which is kind of a topic which we should not usually take up in the textbooks or usually do not take in the syllabus. Those topics they are bringing on the table, and there are forums being made where they are actually collaborating and working and presenting their work. So these are the two initiatives, at least I can say, from my department, which we have started with.